Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm Alicia, and today we are filming my first ever mid-year book freakout tag. I love watching these videos, and I'm so excited that this is my first ever time making one. And make sure to like and subscribe if you do enjoy this video, but let's get into it. Question 1, best book you've read so far in 2025. I've read some pretty good books so far this year, but I would have to give this to The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. I think that has been my favorite book of the year. It was so well written, so beautiful, and I had such a good time reading it, and I think I would recommend this book to literally anyone. I don't think there would be anyone that could find this book boring or uninteresting. Like, it was so good. So yeah, The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. Question 2, best sequel you've read so far in 2025. This has to go to Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. Now, I will say, going into this year, hated Tessa Bailey. Well, not like her personally, but I hated her books, the ones that I had read. And then I read It Happened One Summer this year, and I liked it. I gave it, I think, 4.5 stars. Like, I really liked it. It wasn't a 5-star for me, but it was really good. Cut to me reading Hook, Line, and Sinker immediately following because I had to. 5 stars for me. That book was so good. It was so cute. Some people say they liked it less than the first book, It Happened One Summer, but personally, Hook, Line, and Sinker, that was the one that like had its grip in me, and I thought about it constantly afterwards. Like, I absolutely loved the romance in it. It was just so cute and so adorable, and I just absolutely loved it, and I highly recommend if you love a good romance. Question 3, new release you haven't read yet but want to. I actually have 2 for this one because there's one that I've been waiting to read until summer because it's called Summer in the City by Alex Astor, and then there's Riley Sager's With a Vengeance. So With a Vengeance just came out, so that's why that's like a new release I'm excited to read. But Summer in the City, I've been excited to read it. I was just waiting until summer because obviously it's Summer in the City, and I was like, I definitely want to read this during summer. Question 4, most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I am super excited for The Primal of Blood and Bone. It's the 6th book in the Blood and Ash fantasy series. I haven't read the 5th book yet because I wanted to wait until the 6th book came out so that I could kind of read them back to back. So I cannot wait for that one to come out. I think it's the last half of this year. I think it's either August or September that it comes out. Cannot wait. I am so stoked, and I'll be able to read finally the 5th one and then the 6th one. I just love that series. It's so good. The romance is chef's kiss, so good in that series. So yeah, so excited to read that one. Biggest surprise. I think that would have to go to That's Not My Name by Megan Lally for sure, because I read this one on a whim. I think I watched a reading vlog, like a random reading vlog, and this girl, I can't even remember who it was, but this girl talked about this book, and the way she talked about it, I was like, you know what? I'm looking for an audiobook. I love, and if you know anything about me, you know that when it comes to audiobooks, thrillers are my top tier. I would much rather read physically a romance book, but I would much rather listen to a thriller, if that makes any sense. But I needed a new thriller to listen to an audiobook while I like did chores and stuff around the house and just cleaning and things like that. So I put on That's Not My Name by Megan Lally, and the way that I was absolutely hooked, could not stop listening to it. It was so good, and literally in the end, I was crying. And that is unheard of for me when it comes to a thriller. I don't usually cry in thrillers because when you're in the mindset of reading a thriller, at least for me, I usually kind of turn that part of my brain off of like, we're going into this because we want mystery, we want like dark, twisty, so I don't need to be like emotionally invested and like crying every page, you know what I mean? Because bad stuff's gonna happen. But in this book, it just took me off guard. I just like, at the end of the book, I was sobbing. It just hit me for some reason. So I highly recommend this book if you have not read it. That's Not My Name. It's so good, and the twist is so good, and it just, everything about it was so good. So highly recommend. Question 6, favorite new author, debut or new to you? New to me is Lila Sage. I just recently read Done and Dusted by her, and I absolutely loved it. I wasn't sure if I would be a little annoyed with another cowboy romance because technically I'd only read, I think I'd only read the Chestnut Spring series when it comes to cowboy romances. Like, that's all that I had read so far. And so going into another in that same genre, I was like, is it going to be too samey? Is it going to be too repetitive? But I ate it up. It was so fun reading it. I was giggling, laughing out loud. Like, it was so cute, so fun, and I cannot wait to read the rest of that series. So Lila Sage is a new, probably auto-buy author for me. Question 7, newest fictional crush. I'm gonna say Archer from Archer's Voice because when I was reading that book, I was in love. Like I was physically, fictionally, I don't even know what that means, physically in love, but I was in love with Archer. However, all the ways that you can be in love with someone, me and Archer, like we are in love. Sorry, not sorry. So he is my new favorite fictional boyfriend and crush, and I love him so much. Question 8. Book that made you cry. So I already talked about That's Not My Name making me cry, so I won't use that one for this question. But 2 books that really got me sobbing, both had me crying, but also both were very different genres. So one of them was Archer's Voice, which I just talked about Archer. That one I was sobbing. I almost stopped reading because I thought it was going to end a certain way and I just couldn't, but I ended up finishing it and I just absolutely loved that book. I will say that one had me sobbing because it was just so intense and like you're so invested in the characters. So good. But I will also say Bunny, that book also had me sobbing, but that book's like a weird, I would say it's weird girl horror. Like it's very odd, but there's mystery in it too. So it's kind of like a little bit of a mystery as well, but it's definitely more like weird girl horror, I would say. That one, because of some of the themes throughout it and stuff, it just kind of hit home with me and it definitely made me cry because I just like really felt for the main character and I was like, it just really hit home. You know, when you read something and you're not expecting to cry, but you're like, ooh, like that hits deep and like, you know, I don't know, just because of who you are and how you like maybe grew up or like things that happened to you in your past, you're like, oh, that's like bringing something up that I didn't know we were still like upset about. So Bunny did that to me, but Bunny is so good too. I highly recommend Bunny and Archer's Voice, both of them, so good. Question 9, book that made you happy. I love this question. Okay, I would say most cute romances just in general make me happy. If I'm not actively smiling and giggling while reading a romance, I'm probably bored and I'm not going to keep reading it. So all the romances that I've read, I would say made me happy. Saying that, I guess then I would say for this year, the ones that made me like the most happy would be Done and Dusted, Archer's Voice, It Happened One Summer, and Hook, Line, and Sinker. I think all 4 of those tied for like, they made me super happy and giggly. So, and I highly recommend to anybody that loves a good romance. Question 10, most beautiful book you've bought so far or received. I would say it has to be Summer in the City because look at those edges. I did a haul with this book and you can kind of see more about it, but like, oh my gosh, this book is just so pretty and I love pink and I don't know. It's so pretty. So this is definitely the most beautiful book I've gotten so far this year. Question 11, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? So many. I have so many on my TBR and I wanted to get my whole TBR cart read, but then I keep buying more books. After this video goes up that you're watching currently, I will also have a summer TBR going up. So that's going to have all the books I want to read in summer. So that's going to have like all the books I plan to read in the next 3 months. The months after that, I honestly don't know. I mean, obviously my TBR cart that I have, I want to read like all the books on that definitely before the end of the year if I can. So basically just literally all the books on my TBR cart is the plan is to read by the end of the year, which like I said, you can see which ones I plan to read during the summer. And then when it comes around to fall time, we will have a fall TBR and you can see all the books I plan to read in fall and then same with winter. So look forward to those, but there's just too many to name like in one video like this. But yeah, so that is my 2025 mid-year book freakout tag. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you do love bookish things because that's what this channel is. And yeah, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.